Have you ever felt like your life is in shambles, with everything you've built crumbling down around you? In times of hardship and heartache, it's easy to feel hopeless and alone. But fear not, for there is a divine power that specializes in taking the broken pieces of our lives and weaving them into something far greater than we could have ever imagined. This is the power of restoration, a divine promise from a God who can rebuild and restore even the most shattered lives. A transformation into something far greater than we could have ever imagined. Just like a skilled craftsman who takes broken pieces of pottery and skillfully molds them into a beautiful masterpiece, God takes the shattered fragments of our lives and creates a work of art that reflects His glory. In our darkest moments, it's easy to lose sight of God's plan and feel overwhelmed by the weight of our circumstances. But in those moments, we must remember that God's power to restore is not limited by the magnitude of our brokenness. He is not intimidated by the ruins in our lives. Instead, He sees them as an opportunity to display His power and bring about a miraculous transformation. Through faith, we can embrace the process of restoration. It starts with surrendering our brokenness to God, acknowledging our need for His intervention, and trusting Him to work in us and through us. It requires us to let go of our own plans and open ourselves up to His divine direction. When we surrender our brokenness to God, we allow Him to enter the broken places of our lives and bring healing, wholeness, and renewal. God's restoration is not just about fixing what's broken, it's about making all things new. It's about taking the ruins of our past and transforming them into a testimony of His grace and redemption. Through His love, He breathes life into dead dreams, renews hope in despairing hearts, and rebuilds shattered relationships. As we embark on this journey of restoration, we must remember that it is not an instant process. It requires patience, perseverance, and an unwavering faith. There may be moments of doubt and discouragement, but we must hold on to the promise that God is at work even when we can't see it. He is faithfully working behind the scenes, aligning circumstances, and preparing us for the blessings that lie ahead. In the midst of the restoration process, we may encounter setbacks and obstacles. But we must remember that God's power is greater than any opposition we face. He is the ultimate restorer, and nothing is impossible for Him. When we trust in His power, we can find strength in our weaknesses, hope in our brokenness, and beauty in the midst of the ruins. In our journey of restoration, we must learn to embrace the process. It's not always easy, and there may be moments when we question why we had to experience the pain and brokenness. But remember, restoration is not just about fixing what is broken, it's about transforming us from the inside out. Just as a potter molds clay into a beautiful vessel, God molds us through the refining fires of life. He chips away the rough edges, shapes our character, and prepares us for a purpose greater than ourselves. It's in the brokenness that we discover our true strength and resilience. Along this journey, it's important to seek guidance and support from others who have walked the path of restoration. Surround yourself with a community of faith, where you can find encouragement, wisdom, and accountability. Remember, you are not alone in this process. There are others who have experienced similar struggles and have emerged stronger on the other side. One of the most powerful sources of inspiration is hearing stories of those who have experienced God's restoration firsthand. Their stories remind us that no matter how hopeless our situation may seem, God is still in control and can bring beauty out of ashes. Their testimonies ignite a flicker of hope within us, fueling our faith to believe that restoration is possible. To fully embrace the journey of restoration, we must surrender our brokenness to God. It requires letting go of our own plans and trusting in His divine timing and purpose. It's through surrender that we allow God to work in us and through us, aligning our desires with His perfect will. As we surrender, we begin to witness the transformative power of God at work in our lives. He takes our broken pieces and crafts a beautiful masterpiece. He turns our mourning into joy, our weakness into strength, and our despair into hope. It's through this process of restoration that we discover our true identity and purpose in Him. The journey of restoration is not just about personal transformation, it also equips us to be agents of restoration in the lives of others. As we experience God's healing and restoration, we are empowered to extend love, compassion, and support to those who are still walking through their own brokenness. Remember, restoration is not just a one-time event, it's an ongoing process. It requires perseverance, faith, and a willingness to surrender to God's plan. It's through this journey that we become vessels of God's love and grace, bringing hope and restoration to a world in need. Life's trials and tribulations might leave us feeling as though we're in ruins. But in God's hands, these ruins become the foundation for a magnificent new structure. This is the divine nature of God's restoration. It's never a simple repair, it's an elevation, a transformation into something far greater than we could have ever imagined. I remember a time when my life was in complete shambles. I had hit rock bottom, and I felt completely broken. It seemed like there was no way out of the darkness and pain I was experiencing. But then, something remarkable happened. I turned to God in my desperation and surrendered my brokenness to Him. Little did I know that He was about to perform a miraculous restoration in my life. When we surrender our brokenness to God, He takes the shattered pieces and begins to rebuild our lives with His love, grace, and mercy. He is not only interested in repairing what's been damaged, but in transforming it into something beautiful and whole. Through prayer, faith, and seeking His guidance, I started to experience God's restoration firsthand. He began to mend the broken areas of my life, healing deep wounds and giving me hope for the future. I saw relationships that were once shattered being restored with newfound love and forgiveness. Financial struggles turned into opportunities for abundance and provision. And most importantly, my broken spirit was revived with a renewed sense of purpose and joy. The stories of restoration are not confined to a single person or situation. Across the world, people have experienced God's transformative power in their lives. From broken marriages to shattered dreams, from debilitating illnesses to crippling addictions, God's restoration knows no bounds. My friend Rebecca was trapped in a cycle of addiction for years, feeling hopeless and trapped in her own self-destructive behavior. But then, she encountered God's love and grace. He lifted her out of the darkness and set her on a path of recovery and restoration. Today, she is free from the chains that once bound her, and she uses her story to help others find healing and hope. God's restoration is not just about fixing what's broken, it's about empowering us to live a life of purpose and impact. When God restores, He equips us with the strength and wisdom to overcome obstacles, to make a difference in the lives of others, and to bring glory to His name. My friend Tom thought his dreams were shattered when he faced a major setback in his career. He felt defeated and lost, unsure of what the future held. But God had a different plan for him. Through His restoration, He guided him towards a new path, one that aligned with His purpose for his life. Today, he is thriving in a career that brings him fulfillment and allows him to make a positive impact in the world. The journey of restoration is not always easy. It requires faith, perseverance, and a willingness to surrender to God's divine plan. But in the end, the result is a life transformed, a testimony of God's faithfulness, and a testament to His power to bring beauty out of ashes. So, if you find yourself amidst the ruins, take heart. God is the master of restoration. He can take your brokenness and create something extraordinary. Trust in His process, lean on His promises, and allow Him to breathe new life into your story. For in God's hands, the ruins become a testimony of His love and a foundation for a future filled with hope and purpose. As we conclude this exploration of God's restoration, may you be encouraged and inspired by the stories of transformation and renewal. May you find solace in knowing that no matter how broken or desolate your circumstances may appear, there is a God who specializes in bringing restoration and turning ruins into testimonies of His love and power. In the midst of life's trials and tribulations, may you hold on to faith and embrace the journey of restoration. Trust that God is working behind the scenes, orchestrating a beautiful masterpiece out of the broken pieces of your life. And may you walk forward with confidence, knowing that in God's hands, there is always hope, healing, and a future filled with endless possibilities. May your life be a living testimony of God's restoration, a testament to His faithfulness, and a shining light that points others towards the transformative power of His love. Embrace the journey, embrace the process, and embrace the beautiful restoration that awaits you.